Hello and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4. I'm Count Christo and this is the Luxembourg's Lux Invicta campaign. We're going for a world conquest. It's gone pretty well so far. Now we're currently just at war with the US, Philippines, South Africa, New Zealand, and we're going to focus in on trying to get the US to finally surrender this time. I say finally. We've only been at war with them for about, kind of in real time, like probably 50 minutes. But it feels like ages. So let's see if we can push them over this time. Looks like we've got some, it's military police, but some odd general deployment of troops. Ooh, very weak Turkish division holding down that one. Yes, I don't know why the has decided we need 10 divisions just there. We clearly don't. Right. Okay, that's a bit weird. Let's see if we can help make these borders a little less hideous. Oh yes, of course, I remember we're having a failed defense up here near Chicago, so we should probably try and do something about that. Got some people coming down to it. Yeah, good. We're looking very thin on this bit here. I think what I should probably do is extend this line up here and grant more responsibilities to this eastern front, so that they have to assign some of their guys up here, because they have loads of guys hanging around down here, like these three, for example. They really don't need to all be standing just there. Right, those all they're going okay. Pushing in just fine all the way along the line, looks like. Marvellous. So yes, we're just waiting on convoys to launch our invasion of New Zealand. Oh, I didn't check. Do they have much of a fleet? No, see, they've got no ships at all. So if I send our fleet... if we send our fleet down to Sydney... There we go. That should arrive there at some point. Why isn't it already on the move? There we go. Good. So we send them down there, and that'll be plenty to get us naval superiority once they arrive. That should be good. Okay, yeah, good, nice push in here. How big? The problem is these aren't very big victory points. Nashville, Birmingham. Yeah, see, oh, that's okay. Atlanta's pretty good. Atlanta would help. St. Louis, I think, is quite a big one. Yeah, see, there's 10 points there. St. Louis and Atlanta might clinch it in our favour. Ooh, short on resources. More steel, as ever. Always more and more steel. Less chromium, though. That's odd. Why less chromium? Ah, we made progress down in Africa. Yes, we have. Cool. Okay, they're still, for some reason, just holed up here. Alright, let's pay some more attention to Africa. Oh, we're retreating. Let's halt this plan here. This is not a sensible deployment of force. Let's have some more even spread there. Good. I'm not really interested in capitulating South Africa. It's nice that we've managed to take control of this extra state. That's giving us heaps more chromium. That's very handy. So I think I'll just leave them to it down there, see if they can hold the line. I'm sure they will. Probably, anyway. I'm sure that they probably will. Doesn't make much sense, does it? Oh, they're backing off over here, even though they are winning. Interesting stratagem. Okay. Ooh, don't want these guys to be pushing in. Why is that? Ah, there's just two provinces there. Well, can we push into them? Yes, but it'd be more wise to push into them without having to cross the river. I'm just going to let the cavalry throw themselves at that. How are our casualties in this war so far? A mere 66,000. That's not bad at all. How about theirs? 350,000. See, that's now quite a significant difference. Columbus. Oh, that's worth 5 victory points. Can we take that? We can indeed. How about this? We can indeed. Marvellous. Marvellous. Yay, Recon Company 2's great. We're still short on support equipment, aren't we? 700, yeah, it's not nearly enough to actually put those in, but it's good to have them researched. Better military police? What's more important? I'm going to get this. No, I'm not. So we currently have one research bonus which gets rid of 50% of the ahead of time penalty. So what I'm going to do is research this one not ahead of time, so I don't use the bonus, and then use the bonus to get the actual nukes faster. I think that's a good decision. Could do with some more excavation. That could be useful. Got an ahead of time bonus on the hospital. That could be good. How are we doing tank-wise? Oh, we're great tank-wise. Could do rocket artillery. I don't really use rocket artillery much, I find. Maybe that's a huge mistake on my part. We're not really doing much sea or air. Well, I guess it is going to be the Recon Company then. Excuse me. Excuse me. Right. Yeah, so we're going Recon Company. Continue the push in the east. I'm just going to check on South Africa every so often just to make sure it's not all falling to pieces. But I think there's enough divisions here that we really ought to be able to hold it just fine. Right, so back over to the US. Can we push in there? That's mountains, isn't it? Yeah, it's not pushing to mountains. That's fruitless waste of probably Indian lives at this point, considering where most of our manpower is coming from. Our push in here isn't going quite as well as it looked like it would, but hopefully if we can come in from the sides, it'll be fine. Yep, there we go. There goes Columbus. Getting very close now, 90%. St. Louis. Maybe just St. Louis would do it. I'm not sure. We urgently need more convoys. Oof, we're down 160 now. Come on, Germany. You know you want to give me all of your convoys. No. Italy? Italy, please? Pretty please? Any convoys for your big buddy Luxembourg? No? It's a shame. How about Hungary? Are you in the faction? You are. Give me... Oh, of course you don't have any convoys, you don't have any ocean. Actually, Spain, did you join? No. But you might give me convoys anyway. No. Shame. Right. We can push in there, looks like. If we get there before the trucks. We don't, but we might still be able to push into them. Marvellous, marvellous. No one in the mountains. Let's push on them, hold them in place while we take the mountains there. Very nice. Coming down here. Did we hold Columbus? We didn't. Let's see if we can retake it. There we go. Empty province, of course we'll take that. Easy push into Columbus. Push those guys out. Always best to attack people who have just moved. I'm sure we're suffering at the moment because of our lack of plane, air support. As you can see, the wrong map mode. There we go. The Americans are flying lots of planes in this area, but I mean the effect it makes. Okay, so the enemy has air superiority. That's giving us what to affect our breakthrough. Minus 30% breakthrough. So that's quite significant. But if we had to spend so much of our industry building planes, I think we'd lose more breakthrough because we wouldn't have been able to make a tank or something compared to the amount that we're actually losing to I think that'd be more than we're actually losing to not having all the planes, because it would take a lot of industry to produce planes at this point. And it would have taken a lot from the very beginning where we really couldn't afford to have that kind of industrial loss. Ooh, another free slot. Running out of things to research. That's one of the things I like about mods. You don't in vanilla, I tend to run out of things to research. Maybe that's because I focus getting extra research slots so heavily. But still, it just feels like you should always be getting a big advantage from having spare research slots. It should never seem like it's just, a kind of side thought that you've got, extra research slots. Okay, pushing in there. Having trouble pushing into those mountains, but we should be able to do it. Free military factories, great. So what are we short of? Towed artillery. Okay. Let's get another row, or if we already got one. Let's simplify this. We've got one row of towed artillery at the moment. Let's put in another one. Now we're short on steel again, and oil. Right, yeah. Only Venezuela has oil, and we don't have enough convoys, so I'm going to cancel that trade, in fact. Okay, can we push down here at all? Yes, we can indeed. Let's move him there. Like that, looks good. I'm just going to keep checking this. 94%. Do we need to take about another 17 victory points, if I had to guess? See, what is this? That's very silly deployment. Let's have a bunch of you guys redeploy down here, then all of you redeploy down here, and we're going to make a push to St. Louis. Anywhere else around here worth a lot? Ooh, Kansas City's worth loads. See, if I knew these cities, I'd know how big they all were, and I'd know which ones are likely to be worth more victory points. So, okay, we're going to make a push to St. Louis and Kansas City, and I think that should be the downfall of the US. Marvellous. Let's just make sure there are no holes in our line. Is Charlotte worth a lot? No, not that much. Okay, so all but one, push to here. All but one of them, push to here. All but one of them, push to here. Nice, simple attack plan. Oof, having trouble already. They're on very low organisation, which will be why they're having trouble. One of you was meant to stay here. Ah, but they've decided they don't want to stay here. Well, I'm going to have to insist, I'm afraid. Oh, we really need to regain some... Right, this is ridiculous. I'm going to draw a new front line. No, I can't do that. How can I do this? Just a fallback line? They won't get any planning bonus this way, but at least they'll stay put for a moment. There's loads of Americans down here. We need to get our... Oh, we've got all the decryption we're ever going to get. Unfortunately, this is probably just because we have such low recon that we're getting question marks for all of these guys. I can't have them assigned to a fallback line. I need them assigned to an actual front line. Maybe I should give them a new commander just for the moment while I want to do this. Go on. What is going on? Delete all the orders, loose army. Front line there. Ah, it's drawing it very, very oddly. Oh well. Because I could do with them having a planning bonus when they launch this attack. I think this is the Americans redeploying, noticing that we've pushed in so much down here, and deciding they're going to actually respond to that, by the looks of it. Because there's lots of them moving this direction. Actually, lots of them are going that way. Odd. Odd indeed. So we're leaving behind the divisions from Congo, because they're less good, as I recall. Okay, good. Pushed in here. That's excellent. We'll leave behind that one next. And then push straight on, if we can. They're making a valiant defence of this province. Just one division coming in one after another. Oh, there we go, good. Now we're on the defensive, which is much easier, because your defence tends to be a lot higher than your breakthrough, unless you're a heavy armour division. When I say heavy armour, I mean heavily focused towards armour, rather than infantry. Infantry divisions tend to have significantly higher defence than breakthrough. This is very odd. Front lines emerged. I don't know why it's just insisting on staying just there. Oh well. It functions just as well, even if it's graphically weird, I think, so. Pushing over this river is going to be tricky. Oh, they're trying to cut us off. Not succeeding yet. Are there any more spare divisions? Yes, let's have these guys redeploy down here, and these guys as well. Because if we can just push to Kansas, I think that'll be it. That'll be the end of the US. Which would be very useful, as long as their national unity doesn't unexpectedly rocket up. And I don't think they have a focus that increases their national unity. I don't think so. It's not this, is it? No. No, I don't know what does that, if anything. Ooh, mustn't get cut off though. Ooh, 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 ooh. We got St. Louis. Crossing this river would be a big deal. Probably as I can't send all the divisions across. We need some to hold this position. Ooh, we did get cut off. Let's see if we can reopen that little gap again. Nope, not going in there. They have to hold here until we can push in here effectively. This is not, optimal play to do a kind of push in here. Oh, he's justifying against me. Oh, the US. I'm not overly concerned about the US justifying on me. Why aren't we winning here? Ah, because only one of my divisions is actually involved in the battle. Well, let's end it and restart it again. That should get us all in. It's because we haven't researched radio. Ah, this is what I should do. I should research radio. Because our reinforcement is so low at the moment. It's only going to take us 30 days. That's nothing. In the grand scheme of things. Should we be able to push in here now? Surely. Our stats are hugely better than theirs. Ooh, they're pushing again hard here. Across a river though, so we should hold. Ooh. Don't let them kill the... I don't want these guys to die. That would be unfortunate. Ooh. They've left us a bit open here though. Let's see if we can punish them for that. If the result of all of this is a pocket here, that would be quite good, but we just don't have the troops around to do it. Let's deploy even more guys from over here to this front. You support attack there. You join a support attack. Let's see if we can cut these guys off here. That'd be good, because there's quite a few of them there, right? 2. Ooh, no. Stop there. I think they've been there for a while, so they probably have lots of entrenchment. Only 4%. Yes, good. We've pushed back in here. That's excellent news. And they're leaving St. Louis. Interesting. Can we push in? Not quite. Okay. This is one of the parts of Hearts of Iron I really like. The kind of desperate fights on a small front. I'd like to try a really small nation next that kind of is likely to stay quite small. I've been looking at the Great War mod, which I like the look of. I might try and do my next campaign in there as someone really small, like Serbia or something. I think that could be good fun. Yeah, pushing in there, good. Nearly got St. Louis. This is like our Stalingrad, isn't it? Great big river crossing, all kinds of difficulties, but nearly there. 94%, come on. We can do it. Let's have you down here. If we can push across the river here and then go up into St. Louis, that would be great. So I'll tell them to do that as soon as they've crossed. Reinforce these guys. I'll probably have to restart the battle just so that they get actually able to reinforce in time. Insufficient surplus steel. Okay, a little bit less from America. Good. It's taking them so long to cross the river, by the way, because of the river crossing. If you look at the division, it'll tell you what works out their speed. So the large river is minus 50%. Air superiority is also making an impact there, so that's worth knowing. Air superiority does reduce the speed at which your divisions travel. Ooh, there we go. 98%! It looks like it is going to be Kansas that ends them. We're not having anything radical happening over here, are we? Oh, that's a bit dodgy. Let's see if we can neaten up that border a bit. Can you go directly from here to here? Yes, it looks like you can. These guys' positions aren't ideal then. Let's have them pull back. They probably will push straight forwards again, but hopefully they won't. Okay, let's have more guys deployed over here. And we're going to see what we can do to push over to Springfield and Kansas. This is Missouri. Quite an industrial area. Keep on pushing. We're nearly there. Just Kansas and Springfield. Oh, good. We pushed it down here. If we can go up that way, then we'll be able to make the attack on this province overwhelming. Although it looks like it's already taking them out. Good. It's good that we're still managing to do lots of defences. As I say, it's much easier to defend than it is to attack. I'm redeploying these guys just so they keep on the sides of this rather noodly little attack. Free research slot, I'll put him back on this. And of course, remember, all that progress we made before is saved. So we didn't lose anything by reassigning that to a new technology. Mid-research. Good, these guys come down here. These guys can press straight on. Oop, they're defending up there now. These guys can press straight on then. The German Reich declared war on Greece. That's interesting. I wonder why they did that. Was Greece already at war with Italy? They normally are. They had done war with Greece. I think they were, right? Interesting. Well, let's see if Italy and Germany can take out Greece. It'd be a bit embarrassing for them if they can't, but historically they did have quite a lot of trouble. The Germans did eventually push through. Great book about the... you probably already know it because it's very famous, but the Captain... Oh god, I've forgotten what it's called. Captain Someone or Other's Mandolin, about an Italian... Well, it's about a Greek woman who falls for an Italian soldier during the Italian invasion of Greece. It's a very good book. But yeah, the Greeks valiantly defended for quite a long time against the Italians, but then once the Germans joined in as well, the German war machine did manage to push them over. Right, Springfield's worth 1 point. Greece could be a fun playthrough. I don't know. I wonder if it would be too easy, because they've got all this mountain defense is the issue. Maybe Greece in the Great War mod. That could be fun. Maybe I'll look into that. Let's keep pushing on. Nearly to Kansas. I'm almost certain Kansas will spell the end of this arsenal of democracy. They were called the Arsenal of Democracy, incidentally, because they of their lend-leases to so many other democratic nations. And non-democratic nations, for that matter. They provided lots of equipment to lots of the members of the Allies during the Second World War, since they had, a huge industry, but for a long time weren't actually involved in the war. They could afford to be sending guns to other people. Guns amongst other things. Oil, vitally, to the UK. The Americans provided loads and loads of aviation fuel during the Battle of Britain, without which the British couldn't have carried on flying their fighters, I believe. I think when Germany ceased their attacks on British airfields during the Battle of Britain, the British were something like a week. They had a week of fuel for their aeroplanes left, and after that they'd just have to stop putting the planes up, at which point they would have been just so much runway catering that they wouldn't have been able to ever get them up again, because they would have all been bombed in their hangars. So it's very, very good timing. Excellent, we can get dispersed industry. That'll be useful. And Kansas City falls, and with it, the United States. Great little push in there, that worked very well. Excellent, well, let's have our capitulation. Of course, the game will glitch for a moment. There they go, the United States has capitulated. Fantastic. Giving us, of course, a huge number of factories, surely. Huh. Barely any, actually. I guess we'd already taken most of the factory land? Or maybe it just still hasn't calculated it until this day ends. So I'm going to have to reassign all of these guys to suppress all the areas that just fell. There we go. Nice. It thinks it will need 150 divisions. Well, you've got 80. 155. Let's see what you can do with 80. So now we just have to knock over New Zealand, and that will conclude this conflict. Right, so I can reassign them to the main army. Good, let's just make sure we don't have one irritating Turkish division running around causing problems. Now, okay, is there anyone we're still at war with? Ah, yes, of course. The game counts this as a... oh no, it's a core state. I thought all core states capitulated. It was just colonies that didn't. No, it's because it's not contiguous with the capital then, I imagine. So we'll just have a couple of guys go up there and take them out. There we go. Nice. And the rest of you, if you'd be so kind... Ooh, they're all already assigning themselves to some front line. I wonder where they've gone. Where are my other fronts? Have they put themselves on this? No. I wonder where they've put themselves. Ah, probably down here. Yep, that's a terrible idea. Alright, so you lot, the ones of you that aren't military police and aren't going up to take Alaska, I'd like you all... Well, I think we probably have enough coming down to take out New Zealand. So I guess these guys should just hang out on the eastern seaboard for now. There we go. Because I don't want them to use up convoys that would be better spent on the invasion. So yeah, you guys can all just hang out there. Who's our next target? Ooh, Nationalist Spain aren't actually in the Axis. That's interesting. Nationalist Spain would be a good place to hold against the Germans, because this mountain range would be great. Yeah, I think Nationalist Spain would be a good target. Cool. And Canada, of course. Not Canada, Mexico, I mean. Yes, that's what I should do with these guys. I shouldn't put them on. Why isn't it letting me select these units? There we go. Yeah, not that. Let's have you come down here and prepare for the invasion of South America. So I've got 100 political power. That'll probably let me justify quite a few of these wars straight off the bat. And by getting them into the... ooh, definitely don't declare on them. That's, in fact, Germany just there. Being described as British Mexico. British Mexico? But it's German. That's odd. Well, let's keep justifying all these guys. This is San Salvador, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica, Panama. Probably enough for now. I don't really want to justify on the bigger ones down here, because I'd rather fight them in a separate war, I think. Because it'll take a while to push through. Well, let's just do Colombia. Because it'll take a while to take people like Brazil and Argentina and Peru down, and Venezuela, because they have, you know, something of an industry. So a couple of you guys, I need you down here. Why can't I draw a full battle line here? Oh, because the US hasn't actually capitulated. So this also counts. This is a colony state, right? No, it's core. Interesting. Yeah, so this also counts as overseas. Okay, so fantastic. So with the justifications begun and the United States capitulated, our glorious font, now not quite the largest in the world because of the irritating amount of Lebensraum that Germany managed to get, but doing pretty well. And with that, I'll see you till next time. We'll hopefully be able to launch an invasion of New Zealand and power through some of Central America. Fantastic. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.